Welcome to another episode of HCP Visits. Here's your host, Woody Watts.
Hello, this is Woody Watts, and I am joined today by Mid-Atlantic Paranormal. Tony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's for us to be here.
Tony, I found you all on Instagram, which is a pretty common thing for paranormal groups to connect. But I'm always interested in other paranormal groups and how they got started, and just kind of what got them into the paranormal field. So let me tell everybody how and why you started your group and what kind of got you into that universe.
Sure. Thank you. Well, I was previously in another group. It was going really strong. That group really was dealing more of the not so good place, not so happy type medium. A lot of demonic stuff was coming our way, and we wouldn't turn it down. And then all of a sudden, all of our members were dropping off. And once we had one of the lead investigators, one of the lead founders pass away, it was a sign for us to part ways. And of course, whenever you're in a group, you think of ways that you would probably do something different. And that's when I decided we'll just go out on our own. And myself and another person came up with some ideas. And we enlisted a couple other people. Keijo is another key member. She's our historian. And then she brought on Shane, who's also here with us. He's our tech manager. And then from that point forward, we are the three core members of the Mid-Atlantic Paranormal Project, MAP for short. And we've been going strong ever since. And it seems like every year we're getting bigger and better, especially with our equipment and everything, and the places that we get to go and investigate.
So with your new group, do you steer away from more of the darker spots and more towards lighter? So what is your roadmap basically for your group?
Shane, you can chime in here anytime you like. We don't try to turn anybody down. We ask a lot of probing questions in the very beginning. And if we know off that, it's really, and we have enough proof from the homeowner or the host who's asking us to come in, whether it be a business or a private resident, if it's something that we want to explore and investigate. If we feel that we may be at jeopardy or that the family is in dire need for additional help that we can provide, we will refer them out to another group that can handle that a little bit better. But most time, if it's kind of iffy, if we think it's something more like playing practical jokes on them, some type of entity is playing practical jokes, we'll go ahead and investigate. We may even have like an intake where we go during the day with a few of us just to get a sense of the place, maybe even do an EVP session that has where we'll record our intake questions. And then we'll get back, see what we can hear during that. And then we will decide if it's something that we will pursue. And I will say 9 out of 10, we do go back ourselves and actually investigate. And then we go back and, of course, review the evidence. And if we find that something that is not so pleasant there, we'll let them know. We'll find ways to help the family out. If it's bringing another group in, if it's doing some smudging ourselves, we have somebody who's skilled at that we bring them in. But for the most part, we try to stay on the lighter side. But again, we don't want to turn anybody down, so we will find them help if possible.
Well, and this may be more of a Shane tech question, but tell me the type of equipment that you all rely on, because I know every group is different, and some groups rely heavily on one method as opposed to another. So tell me, kind of when you go into an investigation, somebody gives you a call, what is your plan of attack on the equipment and logistics side?
So we're typical of most paranormal groups. We bring in recorders, video cameras. We have Ovilus. We have the SLS camera. One of the things that makes us different than everybody else, I think, is we kind of look at equipment like fishing lines. We on average put out anywhere from 12 to 15 recorders. We put out probably 10 to 12 DVR cameras, handheld cameras, and we've actually started to put into play body cameras. And so body cameras allow us to free up our hands and to walk around an investigation. It also, as most of us know in the paranormal field, you get the shaky cam. If you're holding a handheld camera, you get the shaky cam all the time.
Yeah.
And the body cam actually allows you to have a real steady, easy viewing video to look at evidence. A lot of times our heads are turning one way and the camera's turned another way and we miss things. So the body camera actually allows us to capture a lot more evidence that way. So with doing that kind of layout of our equipment, I think on average catch more than the average group of EVPs. We're always looking for that golden egg of that video of that shadow figure.
Exactly.
We were lucky on the last investigation to catch one of those. But on the last investigation we just did, which was in Frederick, Maryland, we caught 23 pieces of EVPs, which is not normal.
Yeah.
So I would say putting out more fishing lines, you catch more fish. And we were really fortunate enough in most of our investigations to get a lot of stuff coming in over our equipment. Now, of course, with that becomes the painful thing of reviewing that evidence. So with all that equipment, for every 1 hour, we probably got 30 hours of review.
God, so you were dedicated. That is. Yeah,
absolutely. We really try to bring it when we bring it.
Well, see, that's it. That's really interesting because I come from a video production background and do local commercial production. So for me, I've always geared more towards the tech gear side. And like you said, that is a great point, that the more fishing lines you have out and the more that you rely on the equipment rather than the person, you do take a lot of the doubt out of your evidence, correct?
We do. And one of the things that we noticed when we held recorders in our hand, we'd get a lot of brushing of clothing. We'd get a lot of really noises that were just us moving. So what we do now is we try to set up standalone recorders and video cameras in the actual room. So when we go into a room, we're not carrying anything. The equipment's already there. And so that cuts down on a lot of noise pollution. So, it just helps out. And we've really tried to do wrap-ups after each investigation to try to figure out how to do things better. And that's even with equipment. We've really tried to, that speaker wasn't loud enough. We need to get a better speaker, or it took us too long to set up the DVR cameras. How do we make that better? So we're always evaluating and trying to figure out how do we make these things better.
Yeah. Well, tell me some of the places that you've investigated, because I know each one, speaking from my point of view, each one presents its own problems, obstacles, everything. So give everybody a range of what are the places that you've investigated.
Well, when we first started out, when we broke apart and created this group, we were doing a lot of the historical places, a lot of the historical taverns and bars. It wasn't until, Shane, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe mid-year last year when we started getting all the residential calls. So now it's about a 50-50. We do try to aim to get one investigation in a month. We were lucky recently to get one or two or three in a month, which we're happy with. That will help us when we do have some downtime. But when there isn't anything, we look out for other places that we can go to. Shane right now is orchestrating a walkabout in Gettysburg that we can bring people to and actually do an open investigation in Gettysburg. Mm-hmm. There's a abandoned town in Maryland that we like to go to and just to try out new equipment, see if we can, find anything else out there that we didn't capture the first time. It's outdoors. But again, it's an abandoned town, and you'd be surprised at some of the things you can find. But yeah, we try to keep busy. We don't aim for just the residential. We don't aim just for those historic locations or those taverns. We try to spread it out, and we try to get our word out there as much as possible. Social media's ups and downs, trying to get people to really pay attention, but it's the word of mouth. It's when we get people who actually saw something that we presented that then all of a sudden gets their attention. Yeah, we have some concerns too with our place. can you come out and investigate? And that's how we try to stay kind of well-rounded. And we're able to get our feelers out there. And again, we meet very interesting people. And we stay in contact with most of the people that we've investigated for, which is really good.
Well, all right. So that's all right. I want to ask you about that because, all right. So from our paranormal team, I am finding it extremely difficult to get into commercial places and historic museums. Some of them, some of them are gung ho and want to, but then it dies off. So when you're approached, especially for a commercial place, like are they very accepting of it? Because I'm finding here that they're almost scared we'll find something, that like for a publicity thing, they almost don't want it haunted. Some places do, so, I mean, tell me like the support that you get for that. Cause I love that they reach out to you because we are finding it the opposite. We have residential people calling us, but the commercial and the museums and stuff, we're finding it a little bit harder.
Yeah. We just recently had 2 commercial places contact us. One was in Frederick, Maryland. They reached out to us. We had another one in Hockessin, Delaware, who reached out to us, and they were very open. There's other places. There are some, like you said, that they question. They don't know if they really want to know. A lot of times we'll do some scouting. We'll target a location, and we'll do some research, and then we'll go to that place. If it's a restaurant or whatever, we'll go and be patrons, and then start asking questions. And if the people working there bite and say, yes, we've experienced this and we've experienced that, we then introduce ourselves who we are, and then we ask who we can talk to get in there. And that usually opens doors wide up. And usually when the owners or the managers see how interested the employees are, usually helps us out a great deal on paving that way into the door. Jana, do you want to talk more about some of the commercials? Because you landed a few of the commercials for us.
Yeah, I mean, just, one of the big things that we try to do is we really try to invite them to investigate with us. We want them to be a part of the process. I think a lot of folks watch TV and they think it's one thing, and then they get with us at night at their place of business or their museum or whatever it may be, and then they realize, a customer tell us, I didn't realize you guys talk so much. And not talking and just talking conversation, but asking questions, trying to figure out the history of the building, trying to, really try to dig in to that one question that might make that spirit from the other side want to communicate with us. And so there was a lot of research that goes into these places. And I think that, I think they're really intrigued by that. And like Tony said, it's definitely word of mouth. I mean, we've gotten so many people that said, hey, I know that you investigated this place. Would you like to come right next door and investigate our place? Sure. And, it depends on the night. You go in one night and there's nothing there. You go in the next night and the place seems to be alive. We all deal with these things. And so to really get folks to understand this and to educate them is really what we're out there trying to do. We're not trying to be Ghostbusters and come in, with our backpacks on and tear up the place. Yeah. We're really trying to provide an education here, and we're trying to answer those questions that they're curious about. Who's here? Right. So that's what we try to bring them along to really be part of the process, and I think they enjoy that. And then we find that where we thought only one person was going to show up, and now all of a sudden we've got 4 or 5 people that are there really trying to be involved. So it's cool, and it's kind of a bonding thing for a business. If you can go through this scared feeling of something might be here with your coworkers, man, that is a true bonding experience.
I also think that they like their reveals too, because we also do an open reveal for the business owner, and if they want to invite their employees too, they're able to see what we have to present. Again, we do some education too of what's out there and what could be possibly happening, and we can actually go into the evidence. And we're also open up with them too. If we don't find anything, we're upfront with them. We'll give them what we have and show them that we're able to debunk, if that's what you want to call it, day-to-day experience. But for the most part, we're able to provide a very open reveal, and they have something to take back with them and do what they want with it.
That is fantastic. You all do it right. I appreciate y'all's method. You sound very organized too, which is awesome. So let me ask you what, and I want to know from both of your standpoints too. Tell me some actual investigations or experiences that really stand out to you personally.
Shane, you go first.
Well, you know which one I'm going to pick. Yeah, so we investigated a place in Georgetown, Maryland. And, of course, there's many things that have happened here. I'm sure whichever one I pick, Tony's going to pick the other one in this place. We've got really one place that's just provided some really good stuff. But we set up recorders in the basement. It's a dirtiest basement you'd ever imagine. Dirt floors. Nobody would really want to be down there. And for a full minute, we caught children crying in an EVP. It went on for a full minute. It makes your skin crawl and every hair on your arm stand up when you hear it. And it's quite amazing when you hear stuff like that. And nobody's down there. And I always say that's kind of like, being a drug addict. That's like the stuff that keeps you coming back and wanting more. It's just really, I don't know. It just really makes you want more after you hear stuff like that. And that's one for me that was just unbelievable.
Yeah. Same place that Shane just mentioned. There's always been history that in the kitchen, if you leave it a mess or you leave plates out, stuff we found across the room. So as we're setting up, I place a plate on the countertop and pull out, I think it was hot sauce or something like that, poured hot sauce on the plate. And when we go back into the room to actually put the recorders up, that place is found face up on the floor, probably about 2 feet away from the table. So it would have shattered if it fell off. It was actually placed on the floor. Unfortunately, as I said, we were setting up, so we missed that. But soon afterwards, as soon as that happened, Shane rushed in there, put audio recorders in there, and soon after that time point, we actually had a very clear EVP that said help. And you can actually find that, I think, up on our YouTube page, but it was very, very clear. And it was the same exact spot where that plate was found on the floor. We thought we heard something as we were setting up in the other rooms, but wasn't sure what it could have been. Thought it was another investigator putting up cameras in another room. But when we walked in there, if the recorders were working, they would have seen my face turn completely white as a ghost. And I'm here trying to call for one of the other investigators to come in to see what I see. And I stood back enough so they would see that I was not there to do anything or play any practical jokes. But when they came in, their reaction was the same as mine. But again, very, very active. And yes, once you find something like that, when you go through your evidence, it's addicting. This is why we do it. We're trying to document this stuff. And when you're sitting hours and hours listening to evidence and you don't come up with anything, and then you find that one thing, that makes 8 hours worth of listening to audio worth it.
Gosh, that is so interesting. I want to go on an investigation with you all because I love your approach. I love from the tech side, from your organizational method, everything. So I absolutely appreciate that. All right, so tell me, did either one of you have any paranormal experiences before joining the group or starting a group, like as a child or growing up? Did you ever experience anything unexplained?
This is Tony. Yes, I've experienced stuff as a child. I just remember going into a room and going for the doorknob and the door closing right in front of me before I could even touch the doorknob. And the way the house was set up, there was no way. As an adult, I'm going through my head. There's no way there's any backdraft because the way the hallway was. And then as I go to open the door, it just would not open. And I would say I was probably pre-adolescent when this happened, and I'm freaking out. And then I just screamed. And as soon as I screamed, I touched the doorknob, and it opened up for me. Soon after that, several different incidents where, I'm supposed to be getting ready for school or whatever it was, and I'm just not doing it. And I hear something like calling my name, like telling me to get up, get ready to go. Stuff like that. And there's small things growing up. My current wife and I used to live in a small apartment, which we found out later was servant quarters for a nearby wealthy neighborhood. And I would constantly feel like somebody's asking me where the name was Eleanor, where's Eleanor? And that kept coming out. And at one point I actually looked at my wife And she had a blank stare in my face. And I was like, "Where's Eleanor?" Like that. And she looked at me like, "What's going on?" And as I said it, I'm realizing, hey, that's not me. And then it went away. So there's a joke between my wife and I, wherever we move to, is Eleanor going to be here? What looking for us, or what looking here for somebody? But yeah, that's, and then of course, once we started investigating, we come across stuff like that. But that's my personal experiences, which helped me get into this field. Yeah. So, Shane, did you have any personal experiences?
I have none. I am the ultimate skeptic. I go into every investigation as a skeptic. I have to tell you, though, since being a part of this team and prior to this team, I've experienced many things that have definitely proven and really pushed my skepticism about the paranormal. But I think that's good to have people like that within a team, not to have experiences and to be skeptics.
Yep. I totally agree. Absolutely. We have one really big skeptic on our team just to kind of keep us all grounded, when we think we experienced something.
Yep.
But tell me, all right, so this is kind of not going too far off paranormal, but what are your thoughts on other happenings, such as, because I know for us, I have always been interested in Bigfoot, UFOs, everything paranormal, everything. So what are your thoughts on other myths and urban legends like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, UFOs? Have you ever gotten a call to investigate something like that, or what is your personal viewpoint on those?
I personally believe in alien space, also Bigfoot. We've gotten calls to tell us their experiences about UFOs and encounters. We listen to them, but then we do tell them that we don't investigate that. I'm glad we made contact because I know now where to send them. We had one recently. So if Keijo, our historian, still has their contact number, I'm going to have them follow up with you.
Yes.
But yeah, we believe we just never had that momentum to go and research this thing. I think it's our location too. You're not going to find Bigfoot walking in the woods in Delaware or in Maryland that we know of, unless we're going to go to the Appalachian Trail or something.
That's true. That's true.
But Shane, me and Shane actually talked about this over the weekend. Shane, you can share your experience and your beliefs.
I believe in everything. I believe 100% in that, but unfortunately, I'm a chicken in the woods. I don't want something to rip my arms off, or I don't need a bobcat eating my body or anything like that. So when it comes to that, I'm going to stay within a building or a structure. And that's kind of like why we're just paranormal. Even though I know it's, I know when you talk paranormal, you talk about all those different things like cryptids and other things. But for us, I think we're really spiritual when it comes to that, and not really looking for the wood booger or the skunk ape or any of that stuff. But I totally believe in all that.
Well, all right. And so, Shane, what advice would you give a new person that's wanting to do investigations, or that's wanting to kind of experiment with the tech side and gathering evidence? What would you recommend to them to start off with?
Well, the good old-fashioned recorder. Really, a lot of our evidence, you can go out and spend thousands upon thousands of dollars on all this equipment, and really, all you need is a recorder. I wouldn't even say a K2. Most people say the K2. If you do have a K2, just remember to turn off your cell phone. Don't have your cell phone on. Cell phones are the biggest a trigger for K2s and all the EMF meters. A lot of rookie people make that mistake because they have their cell phone in their back pocket, and all of a sudden the K2s just starts flashing like crazy, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we got one," and it's really nothing. It's your cell phone. So put your cell phone on airplane mode, and just get you a good old-fashioned digital recorder that you can review. You'd be surprised at what you can catch with the digital recorder.
All right, Tony, what would you recommend on the other side? Not so Shane has covered the tech side. What would you recommend from more of a mental state for somebody that's wanting to kind of get into this and has not done it before? What would you advise them to do?
To go into it open-minded. Don't go into it thinking that every location you go to is going to have evidence. To know that for every one place that you have, 10 EVPs, you're going to have those who have nothing at all. Again, it's situational. It may be active next time you go. Be patient and find a great team like I did. Having the right people on your side who have the same beliefs and the same, goal in mind for the team, that helps a lot. Never investigate by yourself. Surround yourself with people who are like-minded and who want to go at this. Again, don't take on big investigations if you're not ready for it. Start off, at the neighbor's house who says they hear creaks in the basement. Start off small, work your way up, get comfortable, and make sure at all times that you feel safe. Yeah.
Man, both of y'all have given fantastic advice. Honestly, I wish I'd have heard this before we jumped headfirst into it. So tell me,
We do too. We do too.
This will be the beginner's guide to paranormal investigations. How about that? So tell me and tell everybody how they can follow you, how they can see your investigations if you post it, and how they can contact you for an investigation or just for more information.
They can look us up on Facebook under the Mid-Atlantic Paranormal Project. You could also look us under Instagram the same way. You could even do hashtag the MAP, MAPP, for the MAP team. And our YouTube channel, if you just go to YouTube and click in there, the MAP, you should see our little Bob Boo is our little logo. That should pop up. There'll be some of our investigations out there. We're trying to get a little bit better with the YouTube. So that's a work in progress. And I'll let Shane, he's the mastermind behind our website. So I'll let Shane explain the website.
Oh, I know it's very long, but it's midatlanticparanormalproject.org. If you go to .com, we'll redirect you to .org. But we pretty much got our calendar out there. Like you guys, we're always looking for any way to help. If you need any help, we have an intake form, a contact form. If you're looking for a paranormal group, please reach out to us. We're always looking for interested folks, skilled folks, unskilled folks. If you live in the Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, look us up.
Man, thank y'all so much. Thank y'all. And honestly, the next time we are coming up north, I am absolutely going to reach out because I just want to follow you all through an investigation because I love your method and approach, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
Well, you're welcome. You're welcome anytime.
Yes, thank you. And yes, you're definitely welcome.
Be sure to check out our website at hillcityparanormal.com. And thank you for listening.